King here, bringing you a spoiler review. Well, I don't think I can even call it a spoiler review anymore. It's a bit late for that, but yeah, I was meaning to do one for Logan, like, days ago really, after I posted my actual review, and I wanted to talk about the things that I hated about the movie, really. Because it needs to be talked about. I feel like this is a movie that is very good, but on the other hand, it's very overrated and very overhyped. I mean, so many people are going crazy over this movie, calling it freaking great and everything, but I feel like it doesn't really deserve that merit. And I honestly feel like the Wolverine, again, the unrated cut was a much better movie because it did things that were unexpected and very cool, whereas this movie does things that are unexpected and cool as well, but it goes about it in the wrong way at times. So consider this a list of things that dampened the film and brought it down a notch. That stopped it from being great, basically. So yeah, a list of things that stopped Wolverine from being great. I think I'm going to say 5 things that stopped this movie from being great, because honestly I can think of only 5 things that this movie should have changed around a bit. The violence and gore. Okay, first off, so many people are going batshit insane about this film and the way the gore and everything is presented, like the violence, like the R rating basically. And honestly, I feel like it's a joke. It's a joke because when I first heard that this movie was going to be R rated, I was kind of excited. I thought we're going to get proper berserker Wolverine ripping people in half, intestines, limbs, heart, organs, just all that shit exploding, flying around. I mean, if you played Wolverine Origins, the video game, which is a better game than the actual film, then you'll get what I'm trying to say here, like in terms of what I was expecting. But what we get here is very bloody tame. I mean, when I went to this film and I saw that, because this is in the UK and it's got a 15 rating here in the UK, I was like, wait, it's a 15? I thought this was going to be an 18. What the hell's going on here? And yeah, I pretty much knew what to expect from that rating alone. At that point, my hype for the gore violence just kind of went down. And when we started seeing it, I was kind of getting excited, seeing people getting stabbed through the head, eyes, and shit. But there's only so many times you can see that before you're like, oh yeah, whatever, we've seen it a dozen times. I guess you could say someone like me is desensitized to that kind of violence, and yet, I don't know, if I see something on a medical video or something, I will flinch at that side. I will flinch at that kind of stuff. But in this film, I don't know, I just feel like it's repetitive. I was expecting more proper blood and guts, and really we didn't get that. Instead, we get a lot of swearing, which I don't mind, really. I'm pleasantly surprised by that, but at the same time, I thought it was kind of cool hearing these guys swearing off, especially Charles. But like, I don't know, I feel like the gore and violence could have been better instead of just hack and slash, and just blood spurting out. I mean, I've seen that shit a dozen times. It's just in those versions there was no blood splatter, but now here we got it, and it's like, yeah, no, just no. Oh boy, number 4. I'm gonna go with Caliban's death. This dude, at first was very interesting. He comes in, Stephen Merchant does a good performance with this character, and in the end, it goes nowhere. I mean, this dude ends up sacrificing himself, right? He's been captured. We get to the end of Act 2. He gets the grenades out. He's about to sacrifice himself, and it's a good way to go out, don't get me wrong. The problem is that it's in vain. Like, it's just totally in vain. It achieves nothing whatsoever. I mean, if he had killed Donald Price or, Richard E. Grant's character, then yeah, maybe it would have been worth something. But no, the way he just goes out and doesn't really accomplish anything just makes his entire character arc bloody pointless. And then we get this scene at the end where they recover his body when it should have been blown to goddamn bits. And the doctor says something about keeping him, using his DNA or something for something else. It felt reminiscent of the scene in Origins where they were collecting mutants to add into Deadpool or something, into Weapon 11, and that's what it felt like. Now I think in the comics Caliban does come back as some sort of mutated monster creature, so maybe that's what they're aiming for. But honestly, I felt like it was just so kind of pointless to be setting that up when this movie in reality should be feeling like a conclusion to Logan's story and an origin story to 23. That's all it should have really been. And yeah, while it is that, it's also doing other things like setting that crap up, and it shouldn't be doing that, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, Caliban's character and death was just pointless in the end, and it could have been handled better, as it were. Number 3. I'm gonna go with the crappy villains. Honestly, Donald Price at first had potential. I mean, the actor does a very good job, actually. We're introduced to him very early on. We get that kind of rivalry, that kind of smugness, that kind of heated exchange and confrontation, etc., etc. You know, everything you would expect from the development of a good villain versus the hero. And they do a good performance and job of that. And then we get towards the end and his character's pretty much rendered sort of useless. The reason I say this is because you've got a dude with a robotic hand, right? You've got a bunch of dudes with robotic hands. And I need to ask this, I need to really ask this. Why the hell weren't the arms made of adamantium? And think about this for a second. Did we really need another physical villain in this movie when we had Donald Price? I mean, you could have easily had this guy wearing some sort of adamantium hand with maybe blades or guns or shit in it. To make him actually maybe stand up to her. Obviously he doesn't have the healing factor, so he'd probably be killed in an instant, but still, I don't know, they could have done a better job with this character. They could have done a better job with the villains all around, because like Grant's character comes in and like, yeah, he's the typical evil mad scientist. You can't really get invested in a character like that, especially when he says that Wolverine killed his dad. And it's like, we never saw the dad, we never had any kind of scene regarding to that. I mean, in the end, it just feels all like a big joke. I think that's what they were going for, maybe. All like a big joke, really. And then he gets shot like nothing. And Grant gets taken out by the kids. Fair enough, but like, I feel like the Doc should have gotten killed by the kids and he should have gotten killed by Wolverine. I mean, obviously, there's that whole kind of rivalry, obviously, that's there from the beginning of the film till the end. And yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the villains could have been done a whole lot better, especially Price. Especially if you're giving us characters, like I said, with robotic arms and shit. I mean, this is meant to be the future, right? I mean, at the end of Days of Future Past, we got, what, Charles Xavier in a hover chair. We got Cyclops wearing those kind of weird-ass goggle eyes now. Like, I don't know, I was expecting something unique and different. Holograms and crap, and we get this instead. And it's like, no, no, no. It doesn't really work. It doesn't really work out. So yeah, very disappointed with the villains. I feel like they could have done a much better job, at least cool-wise anyway. The second thing I hated about this film, Logan's death. Logan's death in this was pathetic. He gets a pretty awesome fight with Weapon 24, and then he gets thrown into a tree and impaled, and then it's 23. You know, it's 23 that blows 24's head off with the adamantium bullet that Logan had. And yeah, kudos to that, but Logan dying, being impaled on a tree stump, I don't know, that's not the way I would have done it. We already know that his healing factor is failing because of the adamantium poisoning. The adamantium that's in his body is pretty much killing him slowly, and thus he's not regenerating as he usually would, and thus the healing factor isn't working as good as it needs to. And then you've got the whole fight of him getting stabbed and slashed and shit, and then he's taking that serum as well, which, you know, he should have taken before his actual confrontation with Weapon 24 instead of that early on, which probably also speeded up the process of the poisoning maybe as well, because they did warn him not to take the whole thing, so that probably ends up killing him as well. I get all of that. Honestly, what I would have done different is have 23 about to be killed, and then Wolverine comes at the end and shoots him. And you think everything is fine, right? You think everything is fine, he's going to heal now, he's going to be fine, but then he dies. He gets exhausted and he dies from all of the shit that happens, and you get that little moment between Laura and him. That, I think, would have been a bit more better and unexpected, because you feel like everything's going to be fine, but he dies by him getting impaled on a tree, and then she has to cut it off. And like, the only thing that sold that overall scene was when Lauren said daddy, and Logan said that's what it feels like to have, you know, to be surrounded by like a family or whatever. So that's the point where I felt like the emotional value kicked in. But before that, I just felt like it was all kind of pointless, and Wolverine didn't go out like the hero he should have gone out as. Like, in the end, he just felt like a little bitch, really. I mean, I get why they did it, but at the same time, it could have been better handled, in my opinion. So yeah, that's one of the things I hated. Number one, the thing I hated most about this was Weapon 24. I hated this character. When we first see it, it's definitely creepy as hell, but then when you start to think about it, it makes no bloody sense. Why the hell do they have a clone of Wolverine? Does this mean that Lauren is technically a clone? I mean, I don't think she is meant to be. Like, they do explain they got the DNA from Wolverine, and you know, it's his actual daughter, basically. So yeah, I mean, but then you've got this thing, and it's like, oh, I get they were going for this theme, like he's fighting himself, but it was just so bloody ridiculous and pointless, really. I feel like this should not have been in the film at all. I've already said this in my non-spoiler review, but this was the character I was talking about that, in my opinion, resembled Sabretooth. The whole time I'm looking at this dude, I'm thinking of Levi Sabretooth from Origins, and I can't help but feel why they didn't just get that character back. I mean, it would have been very poetic to get that actor back, and we could have had him being brainwashed, being controlled, you know, and at the end, you know, you got the two brothers finally duking it out, and the brother, you know, kills him, etc. They kill each other like that. I think would have been a whole lot better than what we got here with this stupid ass club. Don't get me wrong, the fight scenes between them are cool, aggressive, brutal, and just brilliantly choreographed and done. And the CGI is pretty much amazing. I mean, Christ, the you know, young Hugh Jackman and old man Jackman, that's great effects. But like the overall fight was just, you know, I mean, the overall character, sorry, was just like, they could have done such a better job, and this is what we get with. This is what we end up with. Like, Christ, I really hated this character, and I feel like all of these points just really make this film not as great as it could have been. And that's a bloody shame, because I feel like these are mistakes that should have been obvious from the start and should have been changed around, but it is what it is. So guys, those are my 5 points that I hate about the Logan film, and I feel that really do a disservice to it. And also, I'm going to add an extra one, so number 0. Really, this is more of a hit or miss, really. I would have preferred a flashback of some kind to the event that killed some of the X-Men. I think a lot of people are getting confused by what happened with that. I mean, if you listen to the film very carefully, I'm pretty sure it says that all but 7 of them were killed. So I get the impression that 7 of them at least survived, but were paralyzed or in comas. So I'm curious to know who those 7 were, and I feel like it would have just been great to get a flashback of some sorts to really drive that pain in. I mean, one of the best things about the Wolverine film, again, on rated cut, if you watch that as well, you get a lot of scenes with Jean Grey hunting Wolverine. I thought those were greatly done, and I would have liked to have seen something similar here with this movie, getting the returning actors and just seeing that horror unleashed that would have ended up wiping them up because of Charles. But we don't even get that. They talk about it, and it's never really gone into detail or really brought up again. Like, it's just there. They build up to it, and it's mentioned. That's it. It feels like a throwaway line of sorts, like a throwaway dialogue. It's like, oh yeah, they're dead, or something to that effect. I mean, we're not even 100% sure if they're all dead, but yeah, there you go. And it's like, yeah, that could have been better handled. But again, it's more of a hit or miss. The other points I pointed out are really the ones I really felt like brought the film down. Because at the end of the day, this film should have felt like a proper conclusion to Logan's story. And while it is, like, the way he goes out, like I said, isn't done really well. And the final villain of the film is just, could have been done better. Like, if you couldn't get Sabretooth, maybe a different character would have been better instead of the bloody clone. Like, I didn't like that at all. And everything else, like the Gore, Caliban and all that, and the villains, yeah, it could have been handled much better. I mean, in the end of the day, this is already a character-driven film, actually, and they did do a good job of that, at least with Logan's relationship with Charles and Laura, but everything else just like, it just feels like very second fiddle, really. And yeah, the R-rated just felt like a bloody excuse to have these characters swear a lot instead of showing us the proper aggressive gore that we all wanted to see. So yeah, overall, not a great film. Definitely not a great film. A very good film, but not a great film. And that's really sad. That's a really bloody shame. But honestly, overall, the ending is sad and nice. So I'll give it that. I'll give it that. Those last few minutes were emotional, heartbreaking to a certain extent, but it could have been better handled and it could have been better done. But yeah, definitely not the worst movie. Like I said, it's a very good film. It's just, it could have been great had some of these issues been addressed. But it is what it is. You can't win all the time. You know, at least it wasn't a piece of shit. That, you know, that's the one thing I'm happy about. At least I can watch this film and enjoy it for what it is. But like I said, I just wish it could have been better. Like, it could have been so much better. But like I said, it is what it is. As always, guys, like and subscribe, whatever. And I shall see you when I shall see you. Take care and bye.